Isn't life dull?
What we need is a SEGA.
Reality always hurts.
Welcome to the real world, Sega Saturn.
The Continentals. Now it's time to do them again. Play the Euros head-to-head online through your Dreamcast, and let's show them who's the daddy.
I love Sega! Sega is a Japanese company that has been around since 1951. Originally being a company that imported gambling machines, they went from creating arcade machines to being one of the biggest companies in the world. They were one of the companies to take on Nintendo for the 80s and 90s with their home consoles, the Sega Master System and the Sega Mega Drive. They pushed the industry forward with various levels of success, hardware and software, the Sega Mega CD with the ability to play CD games and music being one example. The Sega Saturn was sadly a misguided and mishandled attempt to bring the company to rival the PlayStation and Nintendo 64, but had amazing titles that could only be found on there, including games that oozed the charm that the company was always known for. The Sega Dreamcast was an honest attempt to undo the wrongs and learn from the mistakes of the 32-bit generation. Sega released numerous titles that were generation-defining, as well as releasing some of the best games of the generation, and its push for online play before Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus was nothing short of revolutionary. Even then, they ended the home console department. They released banger after banger, proof that they never lost the magic. I grew up with a PSP when I was little. I played games like Cars, GTA Vice City Stories, I'm not going to elaborate on that, Transformers and a few more. However, I had two Sega titles that I grew up with. There was Super Monkey Ball Adventure. I remember being so lost in the hub world. I even vaguely remember first going into a treehouse room type of thing. I wasn't very good at it. I don't even think I ever played any of the levels. But I know I played it for hours and I felt nothing but joy. However, there was the one game that I had tons of memories with. And it transported me to a decade that I never even came from. And that was... The Sega Mega Drive collection. I loved it. Playing games like Streets of Rage 2 for the first time was so cool. However, I played these three games specifically. Vectorman was a game I was terrible at, but I loved nonetheless. The character was so creative, being made from balls that could transform into different objects or vehicles. The graphics were great too, with the weather effects of the first level, and the only level I ever played, looking so cool to me. I plan on properly playing this game someday. I want to finish it. Ristar is a game featuring a kid that can stretch his arms super far. I did better at this game, but not as much. I remember making it to the second level a few times. The design of Ristar is adorable, but has a smart little edge to it, like any kid has, because kids are little.
Oh no!
The music was so cheerful. The colours popped. I remember enjoying Ristar a lot. Last year, in fact, I actually finished the game. And I'm glad I did. It's amazing. Please give it a try. I'm sure you'll find something to love about it. The game I played the most out of the collection, I may be a big fan of the games, was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Do I need to say anything? We all know how good Sonic 2 was. The music was phenomenal, the levels are super fun, and of course, Sonic is so cool. Now, you might ask me why I liked Sonic 2 more than Sonic 1. And there's because two reasons. The first is what everyone would say, with Sonic 2 being a lot faster, true to the main principles of Sonic. However, the other reason was because of this little guy, Tails. When I saw Tails on the screen when selecting Sonic 2, I instantly fell in love. He was adorable, he helped me take out enemies that were giving me trouble. Collecting rings was so I could keep going and even experience the special stages. Sure, he also ruined some good runs. I can't stay mad at him, and even all these years later, he's still my favourite gaming character. Just look at this little bean, how can you be mad? When I was a kid, I obviously gravitated towards Sonic out of everything SEGA was making at the time. I'll always remember the first time I played Sonic Generations. Jesus Christ, this game. Starting out in Green Hill Zone with classic Sonic gave me a sense of security. I was familiar with the setting. Honestly, classic Sonic was the first space I saw Sonic as for a while. I grew up with the series differently to other people. I played the 90s games, always knew the 2000 games existed, and I jumped all the way to Generations. I wasn't there for the 2006 situation. I saw Sonic in the purest form possible. I saw him a character that fought for justice, had a heart of gold, while adding some style to it. That was Sonic to me, and even now, sure, he's gone through a lot of changes, but at the end of the day, Sonic's still Sonic. But I'll always remember seeing this new, stylish, faster, older Sonic that I just loved. As much as the classic incarnation that I grew up with when I was just a little kid. I always had trouble with the final boss, but a few years later, I was rummaging through my room and finding some random bits and pieces. But there was that game, Generations, just lying there. I don't know why I was digging through all that stuff. It was a few years after the game released, but it was nowhere close to when the Nintendo Switch was coming out, when I was selling a lot of my old stuff just to buy that console. But I'm glad I did, because I went and put the game back in. And you know what? I still couldn't beat it. But after a few tries, I managed to do it. I managed to defeat the boss that gave me so much trouble when I was a little kid. And playing Super Sonic for the first time was incredible. After all those years, I found something new. I also remember the art gallery in the game. When you collected red rings, you would unlock music, but also most importantly, artwork. This inspired me so much. The way that it was drawn looked so beautiful. It brimmed with creativity and confidence that I wanted to achieve. And we'll get to that later on. I played some other Sonic games along the way. Games like Sonic Lost World on the 3DS, Sonic CD to name a few. 2017 was when I was truly becoming a Sonic fan. I remember waiting up all night, all the way to midnight, to play Sonic Mania, waiting for the pre-order times to pop up on the official Twitter page. And I remember popping it in, playing it in bed, and it was so magical. Sonic Mania is just fantastic. I want to properly discuss this game one day. I play it still now, and I love it as much as the day I first played it. It was just so pure. It was Boxing Day. I got some money on Christmas and headed to a local Tesco to buy a game I had my eye on. And what was that game? LA Noire. Yeah, I was in a bit of a phase where I wanted to buy as many games as possible for my Switch. Stuff that I probably wouldn't have an interest in unless it had that goddamn logo on it. Rockstar. I could talk a bit about that too, but this video isn't focusing on them. But when I got there, they said they had no copies. But I didn't want to walk away empty-handed. I wanted to come home with something in my hands, something to celebrate. They looked in the back and gave me a list of games they had in stock. Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, some really great games, but I had everything that I wanted at the time. Except for one game. Sonic Forces. I took it home, played it for 4 to 5 hours. I finished it. I sat there watching the credits roll. And you know what? I enjoyed it. Yeah, I find the game fun. And I know a lot of people have many opinions on the game, but that game means quite a bit to me. I was in a unique position. I obviously caught up with the game a lot when news was popping up, new trailers. I even watched Sam Procrastination when I played the demo that was only stuck to Japanese and had the time limit and everything. But I didn't have any expectations. All I was looking for was just to have fun. And I got that. In a good amount of spades too. It wasn't as good as Generations, but I found some genuine fun, and the custom character was so stupid, but so lovely. A lot of people say that Sonic Team don't listen to their fans, but let's be honest, they do. They really do. I love this game, but I know all of the problems with it. It's a shame that it couldn't have been better, but for what they made in probably around a year and a half, they did a really good job. I still play this game now. I'm close to getting all the trophies on the Xbox version, and yeah, I like it. After I finished Forces, I became a proper fan. I went back and played games like Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 and 2, Sonic Generations on the 3DS, and I finally played Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure. What a game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I loved it so much. The gameplay is so addictive. It was a good continuation from the classics, and just seeing for the first time the transformation from the classic to the modern, finally witnessing that after the jarring difference I saw on that box art for Sonic Generations, it was enlightening. It was cool. I'd say my favorite story from that game is Gamma's story. a prisoner trapped, trying to listen to their master, while also trying to figure out who they are. And that final ending was sad. After I played Sonic Adventure, I played Sonic Adventure 2. This will be a hot take, but I do prefer Adventure 1 over it. But that's not to say that Sonic Adventure 2 is a bad game. No, not at all. It's a really good game. It has a lot of charm and style that I do really enjoy. But nothing will really beat Sonic Adventure for me. I played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and finishing that really made me happy as I finally played all of the classic titles, the classics that I grew up with. Team Sonic Racing was loads of fun. And playing Sonic Unleashed for the first time, I understand why people love it. It's phenomenal, no question about it. Sonic Colors Ultimate was super fun, and while having issues at launch, now I feel happy to recommend it. And watching the Sonic movie had me smiling throughout. It made me feel good. I watched it with my niece, and I'm at the age where I can introduce my nieces into Sonic. My niece called Effa, and her favourite character is Tails. She loves playing Sonic the Fighters with me, and I feel I've taught her well. I bought her a Tails plush last Christmas, and I think it's safe to say she loves it. Sonic will always be a big part of my life, no question about it. It's a series that I've always been attached to for years to come, and I hope when I grow older, I can share that joy that Sonic gave me to others. Because Sonic means the world to me and has helped me a lot over the years. There's one game that I want to save for last. And that is Sonic 3D Blast. 3D Blast is a game I have a lot of attachment towards. I know many dismiss it, but I feel a genuine need to thank it. It's helped me unload a lot of stress and has really helped me calm down to a point I can get my head straight. I don't have many games like that, but that game is it for me. People have games like Tetris or Doom. They help us unwind from a long day, a stressful day. And 3D Blast is that for me. I ironically love it, and I unironically love it. I've made it a genuine pledge to experience more games made by SEGA. The first game I did this with was Yakuza 0. I heard so much about the series, however I never knew where to start. But after some discussing and watching videos on the topic, I finally decided to take the dive. I played it during the summer of last year, and while I haven't finished it yet, it's really fun. The characters are so likable, the gameplay is so fun, it really packs a punch when you're kicking the living shit out of enemies. The presentation is so fantastic, and yes, it's hilarious as hell. I want to jump back into it soon. Another game I played recently was Streets of Rage 4. I know Streets of Rage 4 is made by an indie studio, but I feel SEGA had some input somewhere. I remember playing Streets of Rage 2 with my brother, who also grew up with SEGA. He even had a SEGA Saturn. We had a lot of fun, even if it was on the plug-and-play at-game system. I played Streets of Rage 4 with my brother-in-law and we finished it, and it was an awesome experience. I went back to play Streets of Rage 2 and finished that too. Yeah, it's really fucking good. I've also been playing Nights into Dreams, and holy shit, what an amazing game. I could go on and on, but all I can say is it's phenomenal. Do yourself a favor and play it. It's always cheap on Steam, so it's a low risk buy, but I promise it's amazing. I want to shout out Digi Valentine's videos for making me give it a try, and yeah, I'm glad I did. Thanks, dude. Some of the titles I've played have also been Puyo Puyo Tetris, the Sega Ages port of Virtua Racing, Shinobi 3. I even played a demo for Shining Resident Refrain, and they've been a blast. I say my favourite memory playing a new Sega game I never played before was when I was on a holiday to Blackpool. I went to a Coral Island arcade and I found an Outrun 2006 cabinet with the car set up, and it was amazing. I got so into it and I really lost what time it was when it was finished. The music, the vibe, and the gameplay was brilliant. Another game I played is Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, which is a remaster of Monkey Ball 1, 2 and Deluxe. And while I haven't finished it yet, it's really fun and going full cycle since it shows how fast these years have gone. I pre-ordered it and I'm glad I did, especially for the Sega console skins. It's 2022 and I really want to play more Sega games. I want to play and finish all the Yakuza games in the mainline series. I want to play Bayonetta and Vanquish, which I recently bought. Give Total War a go. Give the older games like Space Channel 5 and Jet Set Radio a proper sit-down playthrough. And I want to buy more Sega games right when they come out, like 2 Point Campus. I want to experience everything this company can offer. Because there's one thing that this company has made sure it's stuck by for so many years. And that is to be itself. Sega has a big year coming up, and especially for the Sonic IP. I am looking at pure excitement on what they're working on. Like Amplitude's brand new sci-fi FPS and whatever this new super game is, which hopefully we get to know. Sega are working with companies to launch movies and shows to really broaden out their reach, and I hope it results in more projects. If we're lucky, maybe we could see some old IPs return? With Virtua Fighter being a big one, especially the huge success of Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. Virtua Fighter 6 is a proper possibility. Maybe we could get a new Daytona? Or Sega Rally title? Maybe Sega can lend out some of their IPs like what they did with Streets of Rage, Panzer Dragoon and Alex Kidd. Yeah. Alex Kidd got a new game. Hell, we could get the new Sega Mega Drive Mini and Game Gear Micro. Maybe we could see a miniature version of the Sega Saturn and Dreamcast? Emulation for those consoles have improved since 2019, so it's always possible. I'd love for the company to do more projects like this, it's charming. The word that represents Sega ever since they released Periscope, of course. I've left this to last, but Sonic is having a big year, and you know I'll be there at day zero. Sonic Origins will introduce a new generation of kids to the classics that kicked off a war that could go into the book of biggest fights to ever be dealt. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie, is following up from a really fun original and, in my opinion, the best video game movie out there. Sonic Prime is heading to Netflix and will be the first proper modern Sonic show since 2003's Sonic X. And of course, Sonic Frontiers will be the biggest game in the franchise since 2006's Sonic 06 and 2008's Sonic Unleashed, and will be guiding the franchise for a whole decade. I couldn't be more hyped for the game, and I'm so looking forward to seeing gameplay when it's ready. I'm going to be 20 this year. I'm currently doing a video game art course at university, and it's going great. I'm having a blast, and it's really helped my mental health so much. And I have Sega and Sonic to thank. If I never got inspired by seeing those illustrations and generations, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm currently doing right now. All I can say is, I wish you the best this year, Sega. You got a very busy 2022 and making a lot of new projects. Take your time, delay, if need be. Just make sure the games are hitting a certain level of quality. And please don't do NFTs. They're straight up garbage and you have to have more goodwill. So just avoid it like it's the plague. But nonetheless, thank you to everyone who's worked on this company and shaped it into the company it is now. Because to be frank, I love Sega.
special.